What the heck was that? Hey Deadheads, welcome back to the channel. Or welcome to the channel for the first time, new Deadheads. So today we're going to do a versus between the Powkiddy and the upcoming, new upcomer, the R36 Max, which we've already reviewed but didn't really like. But now that ArcOS is out for it and working, can it? Also, the price has dropped. So I'm going to do a little testing on here. We're going to look at a little comparison in the gameplay and find out if between these two handhelds, are you going to save money and get something that's 75, 80% of the way to the Powkiddy? Or is it still a flop? Remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode of our awesome content. Also, the old man is back. So we're going to have him take a look and hold these and tell us which one he thinks is more comfortable and feels better in the hand. All right, let's go. When the Powkiddy RGB 20 SX first launched earlier this year, there was a lot of optimism. Its earlier incarnation, the horizontal RGB 30, surprised many people with its 1-to-1 ratio screen and came out and really made people take notice of what a 1-to-1 ratio screen could do. The ability to really scale Game Boy and Game Boy Color games, 8.7 content, and retro games on a beautiful 4-inch screen. We gave this a very favorable review early this year because it was a good product. We had some criticisms, such as these shoulder buttons that stuck out really far. But overall, the look and design was something that we liked quite a bit. The $80 asking price was a bit steep. And since that time, we've seen the product drop in price as low as the mid-50s. But, competition happens. And so now that we have this coming along, the R36 Max, we're taking a look and seeing if is it worth saving $20 for the trade-offs in quality. Make sure you check out our review of this that we did earlier this year. And at the time, we didn't like this very much. The hardware was not great. The cheeky little heart and soccer ball was a little bit ridiculous. And the form factor didn't feel quite as comfortable. And most of all, it was going for the same $55 that the Powkiddy had dropped down to. And we just couldn't see a reason to justify it. But since that time, Deadheads, ArcOS has been installed and loaded on this and working. And the price has dropped down to the mid-30s. So we're taking a look again and finding out, is this worth it now? Which of these two is ultimately the best vertical 1-to-1 that you can buy at this time? Let's check in with the old man and see what he thinks about each of these. All right, Pops, what do you think about this one? Open it up and tell me what you think.
Well, I think it's got a good zipper on it.
It does.
I think the zipper's closed. Let me see what I can do here. Oh, there it is. Look at here. Got a nice little case on it.
Well, what do you think? Is it
heavy? Got nice, comfortable grips on it. Feels comfortable right into your hands there. Let's look at the back of it. See all those little controls here. We've got the controls in for your fingers. Then there's this here paw.
So
You can see the insides of it.
is it thumbs up?
There's the name up there.
Thumbs up or
I'm
thumbs
gonna
down?
give it 1 thumb up.
All right, Pops.
This is the old man.
What about this one? Try this one out.
Wow, that's another one with a case. It's got a nice little case on the thing. Like a stereo head. Feels comfortable. Oh, Lord, look what we got in here.
Soccer ball. What do you think? Hey, Deadheads, what's he going to say about the soccer ball?
Again, it's got that type of hole on the thing with the 4 buttons. Good grip. Nice little screen on it. The controls. Plastic. And you can see inside there, you can see the guts in there. You got your little book and all your little stuff there with it. Feels comfortable. I'm gonna give this one, like the other one, 1 thumb up.
All right.
Thank you.
Dad, now you've tried both. Which one do you think's better to hold? Tell them.
I'm gonna tell you which one is better, feels better. I'm feeling this one's a heavier one. This has got more weight. It's heavier. This one's lighter. As far as the grip on the thing, it's about the equal size. But this one here, what I noticed about this one here is got little bitty hearts on it. You see the little heart and a soccer ball. And the controls over here on this are basically in the shape of a square.
What do you think of that, Pops? Which one?
What I noticed about this one here, if you can see it, the shape of these over here are round. And it's got, if you look closely, you can see there's the face. You see the happy face on it? It's got a happy face. But this one here, this one has got more heavy, so I'd say it's going to outlast that one.
All right.
The old man.
All right. So again, this is using the same 720p screen, and you can see a few differences here. We have rounded corners on the RGB 20SX and square corners on the R36 Max. So it gives the Max a little bit of an advantage, in my opinion, with the way the bezel looks. I just prefer that. The roundness is kind of nice, but when you're looking for less bezel, I think the square aspect of the R36 Max kind of wins out a bit. The color saturation between the two is very similar, although I don't know if camera can pick this up. I would say this, the Powkiddy, is a little bit better. I apologize for the terrible lighting. I'm not in my normal filming location, so I'm trying to get it as clear as I can. But to kind of just show between the two, it's very close when you look at it head on. I would say these are probably similar, if not the identical sourced panels. They probably come from the same manufacturer overall. So you're not really getting an advantage one way or another, other than, again, that this is rounded and this is square. But as we go into the menu here, we'll just let a few of the games kind of speak for themselves. The other thing is these square versus the round buttons. I kind of understand with the square buttons what they were attempting to do to try to give it a little bit of a concave sort of feeling, but I don't think it worked. Kudos to them for attempting. Again, it's pretty clear that even though Powkiddy in the past has suffered from a lot of hardware issues, this has got better hardware overall, guys. So again, trading the $20 difference is whether this hardware being less than this, is it a good trade-off? And, you know, it just really comes down and depends on what you think you can do. They're both running the same CPU. You can see that they're scrolling at the same sort of interval. They're running the same Arc OS. So everything here is pretty much the same, kind of giving an indication that if you do choose to go the sort of cheaper route here, that you're very likely to get 90% of the way with it. You're just, again, going to have some somewhat better experience running on the RGB 20 just because of the hardware that's included with it. But let's take a look at some footage here. We'll go into some Kirby's Dreamland, and let's see if they boot up at the same time. Again, these are identical. So the Powkiddy booted up a little bit quicker. There's a little bit of a blue tint, and this is not showing on the camera, but there's a little bit more blue tint on the R36 Max. It's a little louder here on the R36 Max. Let me turn this down again. Adjust the sound here. And so you can see that we're using a version that is about a month apart. Again, this is the only updated version, so I couldn't get the exact same two versions on here. But it is ArcOS 2.0 running on both of these, and so you can see that it's pretty similar. As far as battery goes, the battery is running at a very similar length as well. Now, it's been reported that Wi-Fi, if you put a Wi-Fi dongle on this, is not working. Now, remember, this comes with built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. This does not, so that's another trade-off to save money and how it goes down in price. If retro achievements are important to you, this wins again because then, or scraper, this wins again because that's a built-in. But you can use, or you should be able to use once it's fixed, a dongle to do that with. But let's hop into some Game Boy Color. And again, now that we have both of these sort of up, you can kind of see how the bezel here, it just appears to be less bezel. There's quite a bit of bezel showing on the Powkiddy. I think it's just the way the screen is situated because these are the same identical screens, but of course you have much more bezel, giving the illusion with this one that this is more of a full screen. And I've got to say that I buy into the effect. I would say that this probably is enough of an illusion that it's making it seem like a worthy trade-off. Again, this R36 Max is just a little bit taller. I don't know if we can see that. It's just a little bit taller. But with these two screens, you're getting, again, an identical, but that bezel just makes an illusion. It's all it is. It's an illusion. It's not a real thing. But again, when you're doing a 1-to-1 screen ratio with these Game Boy and Game Boy Color games, they just look so nice filling the screen here and playing it. And so we'll let it play a little bit here, kind of just showing in the loading screen here that it's, again, this is running slightly faster. I have no idea what that has to do with it. But again, here go the controls. I'm having a little bit, these controls are just a little bit more janky over here on the R36 Max. So keep that in mind. But I would say that we're just, you know, I mean, screen-wise, software-wise, now that they're both on Arc OS, I'm going to give the 36 just a little bit of advantage on the screen. The sound effects are pretty similar, so I don't think either one of those has an advantage as far as sound goes. But they get quite bright and they look quite great. So let's take a look at some Color Game Boy. All right, so as we finish up this video, comparing and putting against each other the Powkiddy RGB 20SX versus the R36 Max. Let's take a look at some Game Boy Color here. And let's just kind of see what it looks like. And again, the bezel is becoming obvious to me as I see both of them side by side. The illusion, and that's all it is because this is the same screen. The illusion's pretty nice. So, guys, to sum this up, there is about a $20 difference, maybe a little more if you can get the right sales going, between these two units at present time. And the question is, with the shortcomings of the cheaper R36 Max, and those shortcomings are inferior hardware that, again, my model shipped with a sticky Y button, inferior hardware, a form factor and shape that is not quite as comfortable to hold, and build quality that just is superior on the Powkiddy. The question is it worth that $20 to $25 savings? And I've got to say, now that I've put this through the paces, if I was going to have to pick one, I think that between the two, I am still going to overall pick the Powkiddy. Yes, the little bezel here is impressive to me. It does look like something, but you know, looks don't matter if the quality of control and gameplay suffers. And these buttons and this D-pad, it's just not as good as what we're getting here in the Powkiddy. You also get the additional built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And for those reasons, I think go for this with the extra $20. Spend it on this. Get a better handheld that's probably going to last longer. The old man said it himself. Just holding the two without knowing anything, he picked this one to last longer. And I agree with him. I like the advantage of this bezel. It looks better. I give it that. But this is more comfortable to hold. It's got better hardware, and it's worth the $20. While I couldn't recommend this at all, now that we do have ArcOS build and the promise of future custom firmware, this could become a lot more palatable, especially if we can see some of those low $30 sales on this. And keep an eye on the community where I post deals all the time, because you may catch me in there with a deal on this. So guys, that's it. The winner is the Powkiddy RGB 20SX. The old man agreed, and I think it's worth the extra money. So let me know what you think in the comments. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Did you like this comparison? What did you think about it? Are you going to pick one of these up, or are you just going with the good old horizontal versions out there like the 46S or the RGB 30? Anyways, guys, remember to hug your loved ones and love your hugged ones, because tomorrow is never promised. Miss you, Mom. The holidays are just not the same without you. All my love to you, Mom. Rest in peace. We'll see you next time, guys. Dead Fred out.
Who wants to play video games?
What the heck was that?